Then we just continue, I would say. Our next topic is real-time and file-based analysis and correction. So this is, of course, a important subject for any broadcaster. What do we do with archival material, for instance? And what kind of approaches do we take in this respect? And for that we have, on one side, Peter Poer from Junger Audio here, the first speaker. He is the managing director of Junger, who is also one of the manufacturers of hardware solutions for processors, but also part of a total workflow. And he will start off. And is Chris, are you following then afterwards? Yeah, Chris, yeah. And the next one is Chris Hollebone from Merging Technologies now. He will also tell us about the file-based workflow solutions that are already out there. So first is Peter, please.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm glad to be here together with you. And so I sharing my time with Chris Hollebone from Merging Technologies. The reason here is that we have a joint thing to present or to talk about, and I will take the beginning part, and yes, I will do a presentation that is called 10 Questions Before the Presentation by Merging Technologies. Because I think we spoke a lot about loudness, and okay, I will do something about loudness as well, but let's see, what are the 10 questions? Short to my person, I'm managing director. Florian introduced me with Junger Audio since a long time, so let's go on. First question. Why I'm here? Interesting, Tim got the same question already. The 5 reasons to be here, why I'm here. Of course, it is a professional kind of event. I'm here because I want to bring over something that we might be able, or we should present to ask questions. Junger Audio is specialized in loudness control, as most of you might probably know, and I guess we are offering kind of uncompromised audio control solutions. Over the years, we have combined our way of audio control technology with, for example, Dolby technology for transport stream encoding. This is many little aspects of my presentation you might have heard with other presentations before already. But here we see there's a clear thing of coming together, audio conditioning and transport stream encoding. Also, we have actively taken part in the P-Loud group, and we are supporting the R128 by the EBU. We have started developing solutions for file-based applications, and that's the reason I'm here together with Chris Hollebone from Merging. And of course, I like to be in London in December. It's not 16th of March, 8 days before Christmas, it's also Friday, so not bad. And it's raining also. Second question. What are the expectations by using things with us? Very interesting. So it should be easy to use. It should give you continuous real-time audio control, regardless of the source, regardless of what is, for what it is being used. You can expect us not touching the sound of the audio material, and there will be no side effects that you don't want to get. Independent of what you are doing should be always the case. As Einstein said already, everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. And we are adaptive. We are adaptive to the audio, and we are also adaptive to any kind of feedback and requirements. So if you have something, please come to me. Third question. What is the problem with loudness? I guess some issues or some topics we have heard already from Florian and from all the other presenters. Hopefully is not too much for you, but I want to show you the picture that I liked so much, the loudness roller coaster. And that's the daily situation. If you go to a hotel and you have the hotel television, you zap between the channels, you will immediately feel, oh, there is something to do. So we have seen this already, we know the trouble, and we need to find solutions. We want to improve. There are loudness differences in one program feed, and of course there are loudness differences between the program feeds. In both cases, it's annoying for the people that are watching this, and what are they doing? They are seeking the remote control to change the volume, and that we want to avoid. User complained to the network operator or to the broadcaster. We have seen this morning the samples from BBC, and I guess there are many much more. And this sometimes can be very painful for the consumers. Is there a chance to watch television without using remote control for volume setting all the time? I guess yes. And we have seen there are instruments given and recommendations how we can improve. Fourth question. What kind of audio profile people like? That's kind of interesting. People like to have easy listening. That's my experience. And there are a number of surveys available, meanwhile, that are clearly showing this. The acceptable loudness range depends on the program type. And that's in fact true, because it's different if you are concentrated on a program or if you are just watching television by the side. You have the iPad, maybe, or you have something else to do, but you are not concentrated on the content. The loudness range can vary from narrow loudness range, as we know, for news, talk shows, etc., to wide loudness range, feature films, classical music, for example. And the loudness range should be different between stereo and 5.1. Also, this has to do with the conditions of consumption. We've heard today already about the flat screen TV sets that don't have the big loudspeakers anymore. That's over. One aspect, perceptual loudness, very interesting. No meter can determine which content is commanding the attention of the listener. And everybody knows this. If you are at home at night in the evening and your wife tells you something loud enough but you don't understand. So it doesn't have to do with the measured loudness. And also people are different and use their senses. As we know, we are professionals. Most of us maybe are kind of experienced listeners. Many other peoples are not. And today we have quite often the discussion about the MP3 generation. I don't know if this is true, but seems to be there is something going with. If you see if the young people don't complain on the audio, they don't take care maybe. Interesting, by the way, if the source can be seen, the mind will prefer the visual evidence to the sound. This is allowing television sometimes to be not that much good with the sound in compared to radio. The sausage, I don't know. I think sausage is a quality thing. In Germany, in Austria, sausage, people like sausage. Millions of people are eating sausage. So why don't we talk about the burger? Or the sausage burger, perhaps? What is currently available in Germany in a very famous chain. Interesting, what kind of audio profile people like. The burger chains in Germany are making much, much more money as all the serious restaurants. So, I don't know. Maybe sausage is not really the most bad thing in the world. What is significant for television broadcasting today? As you can see, it's not just only 16:9, what is here very strange with the projector. It's plenty of channels. Plenty of channels, all in digital, delivered to home. It's 24/7 operation, so television is present all the time. I remember the early days when in the night there was no television available anymore. Today it's over. You can have it all the time. It must work well day and night. Today, television broadcast, this is automation. This is fully automated workflow. There is no real manual control available anymore. This, by the way, requires control communication. So it's not just important that you do something good for audio and video, you need to be integrated. We have multi-channel playout, we have multi-screen distribution, so one and the same program goes different ways to satellite, to mobile, to wherever. We have audio description in different languages as a standard service today. Finally, there is no chance of audio monitoring anymore. Whenever I'm going to a control room in a multi-channel playout, you have one place where they can check the audio. And what do you think they will perform there? Maybe football, maybe something they are interested in. They don't check, they just see our audio is present everywhere, so that's good. Let's pick up what we want to see, what we want to listen to. So this is the situation in broadcast today. Is file-based technology the only one key to be R128? In the ideal world, I would say yes. But in the real world, I don't think so. R128, one of the goals is that R128 says prepare the files because files can be scaled. And then you can make sure that the content is not damaged while being set to the right loudness. But as I said, in the real world, it doesn't work like this. We still have, and that's one of the points for broadcast, we have live production, live feeds. This is a difference to some internet services. We have still unprocessed archive content. There are many reasons not to go to reprocess or to re-control the archive. At least a money reason, because it's consuming money and time to do so. We still have non-R128 sources available or coming into Europe from other areas of the world. And we also have quality control issues. Not every time it might be 100% quality control available, so you might be aware that there can be mistakes in the quality control as well, for in-use post-production. That we have seen with the complaints in BBC as well. Question 7. Do we still need output line control? And as you know, Junger Audio is producing output line control gear, so of course I say yes. But in fact, I still believe we need this, especially in the process of transition to R128, because as long as you cannot guarantee fully R128 compliancy before transmission, you need to make sure that it comes to compliancy in transmission. Otherwise, it is not R128 for the final distribution. Question 8. Which way a real-time process is okay with R128? That's an interesting question, because we've heard a few times today that you should be very careful with the real-time, with the processing. Processing is one thing, it is performed in real time and it cannot predict what will happen in the future. That's why we can use it for real-time streams. Of course, the real-time control algorithms should be high-quality profile, otherwise it doesn't make sense to use them. I think we should ask for loudness management. So that means there must be proper system integration. A box cannot be work isolated, because the box doesn't know what's going on. It just can measure the loudness and can perform something. Playout automation should control the process, I guess. And that's possible. That's not so difficult. So it's just a question on thinking about this in front of the project, and then you can do it. How should it work? Case 1, we have the loudness is known and we know this material and playout is compliant to R128. So we force bypass for the process. Very easy. Case 2, loudness is known is not compliant to R128. So what we can do is we can force a fixed gain normalization with through-peak limiting, because every time we are touching we are changing gain, we should perform through-peak limiting. In case 3, loudness is not known at all. There is no information available from the file or from the feed coming in. Then it is to recommend to use dynamic loudness control, because otherwise you don't have a chance to bring this under control. And this is pointing on a situation that should be more in focus in the future, I guess. That is the question on the M-word metadata. How can we deliver the loudness information from one point to another in the facility? How can we see what was the loudness of this material if it comes to transmission? Because if we have the information, we can manage what is going on for the final output. Question 9. Why are we considering a real-time algorithm for a file-based application? A file has an advantage against a stream. A file is the whole event in a closed container or in the file. So you can immediately scan the file and you know from the beginning to the end what's going on there. For audio loudness control, that means I can scan the file and I can create the numbers and I can take a decision what to do with the file. But interestingly, people like to get processing to the files. And I think one of the reasons is that in the past few years, people make quite good experiences with loudness-based audio processing. And Tim brought this also to attention already, that just a few dB change can have a dramatic improvement to the material. And I think that has to do with things like the fader ballistic of the process, with things like a loudness range decreased by the process, and also with things like peak limiting. So it must not be that because of a file-based process, it should just only be normalization. It can be processing as well. It depends on what you want to do and your taste, how you want to get it. And that's the reason that we are here, because we have collaborated with merging technologies on this. Which way loudness processing should work for files, and that's very similar in our idea to what is going on with the real-time process. If we have a single pass implementation, that means the file is running one time through the process and it's not coming again. What is, by the way, happening in playout servers, for example. Then we need to apply dynamic loudness control, because we must do it at the moment. There's no chance to do it again. This is similar to DSP-based stream processing. In the dual pass implementation, so if I have the chance, I can have a measurement pass and then a gain modification pass. Here I can build up different scenarios. I can say if I measure with all values it's R128 compliance, I don't need to do anything. I just measure the file, it's okay. If I have small loudness differences to R128, and you need to determine how much this should be, you perform gain normalization with through-peak limiting, the usual case. And if you have too much differences to the targets, then you might take the decision better to use dynamic control because something goes wrong with the content for some reason. Okay, that's quite loud, huh? That was my part.
11, new level.
Yeah. The 10 questions before merging is coming. If you have questions or comments, then you can reach me by email as well. And now enjoy the merging technology presentation. Thank you.